Hi, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am your dorky friend Lisa, and I'm here to try to make you read. Well, this week I thought I would do kind of a book haul, if you will. A weekly kind of mashup of the books I've come across that I'm going to read. So I tend to go to the library, as you do. And also there's a used bookstore across from my work, which I go to quite frequently. Second and Charles, hashtag not sponsors, but they usually have a pretty good selection. They're totally not in order in any way, shape, or form of that store, but usually, and you know, they're used, so good price. And then there's also this thing called the Little Free Library, which is basically kind of a take one, leave one kind of situation. It's a little wooden box that kind of looks like a schoolhouse, I guess you will. And that's always, you know, because it's free. You can always find some fun stuff in there. Anyway, so this week at the library I found Magician's Impossible, which I thought might be a follow-up book by Lev Grossman. He wrote The Magicians, Magician Kings, which is the basis for that MTV TV show, The Magicians. I've only watched a few episodes of the TV show, so don't quote me on this. I was not the biggest fan. The books are really good. I may at some point go back and kind of like watch it all and see how it compares to, and maybe do a video on that for you guys if you're interested. But anyway, The Magician's Impossible by Brad Abraham basically is, well, I'm going to read you the little intro thing, and it sounds really interesting to me. It said, 20-something bartender Jason Bishop's world is shattered when his estranged father apparently commits suicide, but the greater shock comes when he learns his father was a secret agent in the employment of the Invisible Hand, an ancient society of spies wielding magic in a centuries-spanning war. Now the Golden Dawn, the shadowy gable of witches and warlocks responsible for his father's murder and the death of his mother years before, have Jason in their sights. His survival will depend on his mastering his own dormant magic abilities, provided he will make it through the training. So that definitely sounds like fun. And then the next one was How to Survive a Summer by Nick White, which says Camp Levy, nestled in the Mississippi countryside, is designed to cure young teenage boys of their budding homosexuality. Will Dillard, a Midwestern graduate student, spent a summer at the camp as a teenager and has since tried to erase the experience from his mind. But when a colleague alerts him that a slasher movie based on the camp is being released, he is forced to confront his troubled history and possible culpability in the death of a fellow camper. As past and present are woven together, Will recounts his rehabilitation, eventually returning to the abandoned campgrounds to solve the mysteries of this pivotal summer and to reclaim his story from those who have stolen it. I mean, repressed homosexuality, summer camp, slasher movie. I mean, hello, this all sounds fun. So I figured that might be a good read. And then at Second and Charles, I found Maggie Steffervalda, Raven Boys, the first book. Maggie is a Virginia local. I don't know if she's a Richmond local. She's written 2 other series that I've read all the books of, which was a fairy series which takes place in Virginia. And 2 of the characters go on a date in Carytown, which is kind of like a popular artsy touristy part of town here if you're not a local. And those were really good. And then she wrote a werewolf series. It's like either 3 or 4 books, I can't remember, but it's really sad and sweet at the same time. It was good. Which is Shiver and Linger, and I forget what the other ones are called. But in this one, apparently the girl can see dead people, and she ends up starting a relationship with somebody who's supposed to die or whatever, which is the Raven Boys, which I thought was kind of be like a morphosis kind of like situation, but apparently that's not the case. The Raven Boys are apparently what they call the private school boys or whatever. So I don't know, it sounded like an interesting read, and plus I love Maggie, so I'll definitely read that. And then this one is Dark Shadows, the Salem branch. Dark Shadows, I love. I'm old, but I'm too young to have watched the show when it originally came out because it's a black and white. Like it came out in like the mid to late 60s or something like that, I think. I'd have to look that up. But it got a kind of like a revamp a few years ago. Tim Burton made a funny comedy with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, his usual crew, of course. But the TV show, they did have it on Sci-Fi Channel for a while, and it was kind of revolutionary for the time that it came out because it was a daytime soap opera, but it was about vampires, and it was dark and brooding. I mean, it was kind of cheeseball, but it was good, you know? Anyway, so I'm going to look into this. I think it's probably, hopefully, that there's multiple books, so that could be a fun read. And then I feel bad because the books from the little library, I don't know what I did with them. When I was getting everything together for this, I was just like, wait a minute, where are they? And I don't remember what they all were except for one, because I'm horrible. But because I got like 3 classics out of there. Somebody had just like put a whole stack of like old, like tortured classics. You could tell, I guess somebody was an English major or something. But the one that stood out was Faust. Faust is like, oh gosh, it's classic. It's like it was written in like the 1800s, like old. And basically it's the basis of lots of like popular like movies and other stories if you've ever read it. Like it's basically, the whole premise is, you know, you make a deal with the devil and everything goes wrong. So I mean, it could go either way. There's been comedy versions of it made into movies. There's been, you know, like dark suspenseful, like horror versions made of it. All the way back to like 1920 something, the original black and white Faust. There was that late 90s, early 2000s comedy called Bedazzled with Brandon Fraser, where basically, you know, he makes a deal with the devil and like everything goes wrong that he wishes for. That's Faust. There was I think it was Disney. I'm pretty sure it was Disney. Like kid, like made for TV movie called I Was a Teenage Faust with Morgan Fairchild and stuff. Basically the kid like wishes for stuff, you know, dream girl, blah 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 blah, and you know, it was really cute. It was really funny. So like I highly recommend, you know, reading it. You'll get the basis of all the stories. There's even oh, one of my faves. There's a 70s musical called Phantom of the Paradise, which is kind of Phantom of the Opera, which is again based on, you know, Faust. You make a deal with the devil kind of situation there because that's what he did. But which is, oh gosh, that movie is literally, I love old cheesy musicals. That one is kind of classic because the girl in it who plays kind of like the love interest, this is a random little tidbit, has nothing to do with the books. She is Janet in the Rocky Horror Picture Show sequel, which is Shock Treatment, which is around the same time period, sort of, because there was an actor strike going on when the sequel was being filmed. Susan Sarandon, Barry Bostwick, Tim Curry, all of them refused to be in it because, you know, they were members of the Actors Guild and they were not gonna, you know, be scabs or whatever you want to call it. So that, of course, you know, he lost half his cast, lost half the budget, filmed in one warehouse, got all these no-name actors to kind of like replace, to be Brad and Janet and all the other characters. So there's literally only 3, well, no, I can't say 3, but there's only anybody who was famous that was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was not in the sequel. So it's considered a bad movie, but Rocky's considered a bad movie, so I liked it. Anyway, well, I had fun, guys. I hope you did too. If you want to start, you know, if any of these books stand out to you, comment in the little section below, you know the deal, and we can start a book discussion as always. And I had fun. I hope you did too, and I hope I see you here next time, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Bye.